Hi everyone. Today is the first project of the school year and it's on ancient civilizations, or how the ancient world provided the foundation for today's world. And hopefully at the end of this project I've provided you, actually I shouldn't say I've provided you, your classmates have provided you enough evidence to have you believe this bottom statement that the ancient world did provide this foundation. And here are the civilizations we are going to be learning about. Mesopotamia, which is a combination of Sumer, Babylon, and Assyria. Here's a ziggurat, and here is where it was located on the Fertile Crescent of the Tigris-Euphrates River in modern-day Iraq. This is Mesopotamia, which was in three parts. Ancient Egypt, which ran along the Nile River in northeast Africa, and the Sphinx and the pyramid. And Egypt was also in three parts, an old and middle and new kingdom. The Indus Valley, or I'm going to get this correct, Harappan. I do apologize if I mispronounced, but I tried really hard. This would be in modern Pakistan and India along the Indus River. And the fourth civilization would be ancient China. Now, Xia, we are not sure. It's more mythological or spoken than it is hard evidence. But these two Chinese dynasty, we have strong archaeological evidence. This is the Shang and the Zhou of ancient China. And you can see here's the Shang and then the Zhou. And then you can see China's subsequent growth along the Yellow River. So those first four civilizations are called the River Valley civilizations, similar in the respect that the river was the be-all, end-all to their existence. Now the fifth group of people we're going to be learning about are the ancient Hebrews, which would be located in modern-day Israel. And for those people with a church background, these are the same people you've learned about in Sunday school in the Old Testament. The Hittites of Anatolia, which would be in modern-day Turkey. And Turkey, considering its location, it's right smack dab in the middle. And when something's smack dab in the middle, it is a place that is frequently visited by all sides. To scale it to something more local, Royal Oak, Michigan is the center of Metro Detroit, and people want to be there because you can have access to all of Detroit area from there. And I would say the Hittites geographically were smack dab in the middle. The seventh group we're going to learn about are the ancient Persians. Now the ancient Persians are the most recent of those aforementioned civilizations, and they eventually took over just about everything. And you can see some of the old civilizations that were taken over, Mesopotamia and Egypt. And Persia got really, really big, really, really powerful, really, really quickly. And the final group we're going to learn about is the Aksum, which would be in northeast Africa along the Red Sea and modern-day Ethiopia and Eritrea. So now that we've gotten these out of the way, how are we going to present these? Now, every group has been assigned a criterion to follow, and the first would be the 5 themes of geography. I'm going to ask you to take your civilization and run it through these 5 items. Location. In latitude and longitude, which is an empirical fact, you could say it's in relation to another place. It's adjacent to this, or it's in modern day. So that's location, probably the simplest of the 5. Place would be the descriptors, the physical features in terms of hilly, desert, lush, harsh, whatever adjective you want to throw in there. And then human features, for example, dams and irrigation ditches that created a different place for it. Interaction, how did people adapt to the environment? We all have to adapt to our environment, and people change based on these interactions in the environment. Living in Michigan, we need to have clothes for 4 seasons. We change, based upon these things. Movement. Where were people moving? Why were they moving? Was it a push migration? Was it a pull migration? What was exchanged? I think this is the most intriguing of the 5, because going back to cultural diffusion, the more we mix, the more really interesting and oftentimes good things come about by this. And then region. Now you can look at these civilizations, and they are in a very similar region. It's a region called Afro-Eurasia. At this point, it's not a global world, but Afro-Eurasia. Africa, eventually Europe by way of Greece and the Minoans, and then Asia, Afro-Eurasia. So I'm going to ask you to take your civilization through these 5. And I'm also going to ask you to research and investigate their religious structures and beliefs, their government and laws, the art. You know, art is really what makes us human, and art is very, it's an intriguing subject because it gives you insights to the people and what they valued and their culture and their perceptions. So we're going to look at the art, specialized jobs performed, and inventions and innovations. Inventions are a physical item that I could show you. Here's what such and such invented. Here's a compass. I can show you a compass. An innovation is it's an idea. It's a change of doing something better. It's a new way of thinking, a new way of doing things. I really can't show you an innovation per se in my hand like I could a compass, but they are closely related. And these are the other areas of research I want you and your team to look up. And when it comes time to present, I'm going to be asking you, is your group prepared? And again, the more repetitions you put in, the more prepared you are, the better your performance. Going back to the 5 Ps, prior planning prevents poor performances. Are you enunciating? Can we understand what you are saying? Projecting. Can the person in the back of the room hear you? I am now projecting. Do you have a good visual? Now, some people, a lot of people, need to see something in relation to your words. Words don't do it. So whether that visual is something you write on the whiteboard, whether it is a Prezi or a PowerPoint or a Google slide or even a worksheet or even you putting on a demonstration, have a good visual to drill the learning home. Is it the right scale? I am not your audience. I am asking you to teach your classmates about your respective civilization. Are you presenting it in a way that they understand? Is the content correct and pertinent? Meaning, well, the correct is easy. Did you get it right? If you were to say the ancient Egyptians lasted 9,000 years in modern day Cambodia, that's just not true. It's wrong. But that's not really the issue. Is it pertinent? And what I mean by this, are you including facts that people need to hear, want to hear, and it's not bogged down by a lot of details that nobody really gives a hoot about? And again, 5 to 7 minutes, which is in your control, which goes back to being prepared and knowing that. And let me just drop the golden rule of teaching on you. Teach as you would like to be taught. And even logically say, well, not everybody in the room likes to learn like I do. That's true. I know that to be true. But if you are teaching the way you like to be taught, I think you're going to bring more energy, more passion, more credibility, and more good stuff to your presentation. And again, outside of history, just kind of as general life skills, I'm looking for some HMICs and some HWICs to lead the group. That's head men in charge, head women in charge, where somebody's going to step up, take charge, lead the group, and get all the talents out of your team. You know, somebody might be a good researcher, but not much of a speaker. Have that person do the research. Somebody might be a really good speaker, but not somebody who is a good writer. Have that person speak. Every team has different skills. Get the skills and talents out of your people. And I assure you, whatever job you pursue, I promise you this, you will have to work well within a group. Oftentimes these groups might be strangers or people you don't particularly care for. You have to get through it if you want to do well. And these are called soft skills. And I think a lot of people are thinking about the hard skills of, you know, GPA and SAT, and that's all well and good. However, soft skills are required too. You need to have the ability to work with other people. And I hope this project lets you practice this in a very safe place. So I am excited to see what everybody comes up with, and thank you for watching.